Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. I actually I saw some fluttering on Facebook regarding this creator that did what she called a Flippy Floppy Foldout. And I had to check it out because don't you all love Flippy Floppy Foldouts? So this is the creator I watched, and I don't want to butcher the name, but this is her name here down at the bottom. I don't know if it's Climmies or Climmies. I just don't know. So I don't want to butcher it. But that is the channel that I watched, and so I will link it down below. I'll link the video in the description box. So that inspiration comes from her. Now I am doing a little bit of a different variation on it in regards to basically she took a base. She started out with like a neutral paper, and then she covered all of the panels with paper. For me, it made it super thick. Look at how thick this is. This was my first try was this one, and look at how thick it is. It's just really bulky. Now I also use 65-pound paper, so that plays a part, but basically it folds out like this, and then this folds down. Okay, and then obviously the back is also usable, and it's got a magnet in here. It's my first time using a magnet. I'm so excited. So so that was one of my prototypes, and again, I think it's a little bit too bulky for a journal, but I'm not sure because I have some ephemera that's that bulky, so I'm not sure. And then I did this one, which I liked a lot better, where I used a coffee dyed linen paper from my stash, and I went ahead and closed it with a ribbon by putting it in particular places underneath the papers that I glued on. So let me open this one up so you can see. So that one goes like that, and then where's the other one? And like that. So it's like a zigzag fold, and then again it's attached with a magnet, very strong magnet there. And then it comes up like that, in case I missed that on the last one. So this one will probably go in my reference journal. So that is that one. And then I thought, why not just print directly? Why not use a digital? The only reason why I thought I couldn't use a digital is because the tutorial was an 8 1/4 by 11.5 inch piece of paper, a standard US letter size paper, and my digitals will not print without a little border, so they're always smaller. So I decided that I would just adjust my measurements accordingly, and so I'll show you what we're going to use. I've got supplies here: my vintage photo archival ink, Fabri-Tac, Barely Arts glue. I've got my zero gravity ruler in case we need to find the center of anything. I know I always need to find the center of my life, but you know, that's otherwise not crafting. And then my regular ruler, my scissors, and such. I've got magnets. These are magnets that I just got at the Dollar Tree, just because I had them in my stash. But I did order some from Amazon because I think I'm really going to like this, using magnets in my ephemera. I don't know, for some reason I was nervous to try. I'm not sure why. So those are those. And then this is my prototype using just a digital. So you could see what we have here. It opens on the other side just because of the way I turned the paper, but it flips up like this. So you got all that writing space, and then you've got the back as well. So the only thing I didn't like about this, which I'm going to run into that on these as well, is you're going to have paper that's plain, that's this exact same background. And then this, basically in your journal, this would glue onto the side of your page, and it would be a flip out on the side of the journal. So that is what that looks like. And so I decided I would go ahead and use the Angel Folio kit from Sweet Pea Papers, because I think I might just do this as a happy mail, this actual one I'm doing on camera, and just give it to somebody. So I'm not really sure. I really love the ease of it. It's pretty darn simple. So let's go ahead and talk about it. So this is just the ephemera, some pockets and things. Now I did use the Sweet Pea Curiosities kit, but in order to have it fit the width of each section of the flippy floppy thing, everything needed to be smaller. So I shrunk everything down by 80%. So in my settings in my printer, I just hit 80%, and that shrunk them down enough that they'll be fitting on my panels. So And I've got 2 of these. Let me see if I can remember why. I think I was thinking about making this a little bit taller than the other one, which we still could do. So this is measuring 8 1/4-ish. It's really not 8 1/4 after you cut the border off, which is really frustrating. It's just under 8 1/4, like really barely under. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this bottom portion off, but not as much as I would in my prototype. I basically cut the same width of this off of the bottom in order to create the flip down or the flip up, or however you look at that. So this section here is an additional piece that is glued on. So I think I'm going to do that. I think we're gonna live on the wild side and make this a little bit taller. So let me just move those bits out of the way so I can bring the cutter over. Still got a little cough, so I'm hoping I won't cough all over the camera. Okay, so in the other prototypes I took off just under 3 3/8 of an inch. So I think I'm only going to take off 2 inches of this one. So let me just get myself situated. And actually, yeah, I want this end. So I'm just going to bring this over here. And this is going to make it a little bit taller, a little bit funner for Happy Mail. Because I feel like that's super small. So you could do that as well. Which means I won't be able to use this small piece, right, for the bottom or for that flip out part. So that's why I have the second page, but we don't need that quite yet. So now, because this measures, I believe my measurements were 10 3/4, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mark so 3 1/2, 3 1/2, 3 1/2, and that'll give us our hinge over on one side. I'm debating on where I want my hinge though. I think I want my hinge on this side. Since this is not a directional paper, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to move my cutter. Oh, goodness sakes. Knock that off again. Boy, oh boy. I'm not really sure if that's like a cutting, like a protection so you don't cut yourself or what, but and I like to just do my measurements in pencil because the measurements on the cutter can be a little confusing for me. So I'm just going to make a mark at 3 1/2 inches. 3 1/2 inches. I think that was 3 1/2 inches. Did I get that right? No. So it must not have been 3 1/2. I'm sorry, I planned this yesterday and like 24 hours has passed, so you know, it's all mud in my head now. So let me see, let me just take this measurement and that will tell me. My apologies, guys. 3 1/4, sorry. And that's because I think she did 3 1/2. But because our paper is not as wide, we can't go that far. So 3 1/4 instead, right there and right there, and one more. I will forewarn you, I will probably be lost and completely insane when I try to do the magnet, so I hope you guys won't laugh me out of the room here. Okay, so let's grab my score tool here. So I'm going to go ahead and score this. And I don't use this measurement when I'm doing the actual scoring. I just find a line and line it up there and then go from there. So we're going to score there. And I do score it twice because I am working on 65-pound paper. Since I'm not covering this paper, I didn't have to worry about the bulk like I did before. So I'm just going to lift that up and see if I can get this over here closer so you guys can see it. So this is my next score line is right here. And this is another one of those projects where there's so many variations to how you could make this. It's just kind of crazy, all the different ways you could make it work. So I'm going to go ahead and score there. Okay, boom. And then we can move this. Now, since this is wider, so on my other prototypes I only had this hinge be a 1/2 inch, but there's no reason why you can't leave it on there, so I'm just going to leave it on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and give that a good burnish. And I want it to open on, I want it to go on this side of the page. And so then you're just going to do a zigzag right here like that on your other pieces. Oh, why are we off? Uh-oh, uh-oh. What? That doesn't make any sense. We're off. This worked perfectly before. Okay. Wait. Yeah, it's just this whole one here is off. So I'm just gonna kind of try to move it over a little bit. Try to even it up just a smidge. See if we can fix this. If it's uneven, it's uneven. I'm not, you know, as I say all the time, I don't worry about that. I don't know if I just lined it up to the wrong place or what. But this is not fun. I can't now move it. So that's what it looks like right now, is it's uneven. So let me just keep fiddling with this and see if I can, because I'm working with, maybe I should just, I don't want to score it again because I don't want to create another distinct line. So I'm just going to try to move it a little bit, but it's 65-pound paper. So we're going to call it good. I'm not going to worry about it. So it is what it is. I don't know if it looks like I'm uneven too, so goodness gracious sakes alive. There, that's better there. I don't know if that's any straighter. Nope, it's not. So we're just gonna be okay with it. It does not really matter in my humble opinion. So there we go. So that is our mechanism. So let's give these a good crease. Of course, you could perfect this and not accept that kind of an error, but I don't fret about it. Life is too short. And plus, as you can see, I already did 3 prototypes, so I don't know if I can improve upon it at all. So there we go. So now what we need to do is we need to cut a piece that's going to go here. Now, because this, we need the length, we need it lengthwise this way. So this is actually going to be quite pretty. I think I'll turn it this way. Okay, so I'm just going to line it up here. You don't want it to be, you want it to, if like any fold, you don't want it right on that fold. You want to allow a little bit of a margin, a little bit of room there. So I'm going to just come in a little bit on this side. And that's going to make more sense when I show you what it looks like after I cut it. So let me bring this back over. And I'm going to try to find that pencil mark right there. Okay. And then we're going to score this at a 1/2 inch at the top, because that's going to be our hinge that's going to go over the top of our Flippy Floppy thing. So I'm just going to do that really quick. That's a perfect place for it too, because we've got that line in the digital. So we'll do the other score line in a second. You're going to need one more score line when we fold this. So let's fold that little flap down and give that a good burnish as well, like so. So then we're going to just set this on here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and just ink these main folds just for this part, so you can see where I'm talking about how much distance you want to allow in between those. So I'm going to just quickly lightly ink that. I'll ink everything here in a second, but for now, let's just get that ink just so we can see it, like so. And so then this is going to go over that. Okay, and so we have enough room. If I can move it over, goodness gracious. Just got just a barely any hanging over there. So why won't this cooperate? There we go. So right, oh boy, like that. Okay, a little bit of room. Okay, so I'm gonna just try to cinch that. It's gonna stick up a little bit because of the bulk of my paper. That's okay. And then I'm gonna, oh, this is gonna be short too, so it's gonna be a shorter flip up because probably just the size of my paper. So I'm just gonna make a mark right here, and I'm gonna quickly score that. This paper should be the same as what I used on the other one, so I'm not sure why. Was I thinking about that incorrectly? No, because we would want the portrait side of that, so it's weird. Okay, so I am going to take a moment and ink all this, and then we'll come back and we'll glue this piece on, and we'll go on from there. There we go. My sponge needs replaced. Goodness gracious. Okay, so there's that. So now we're going to go ahead and glue on our flip, and so it's going to flip up like this, which is actually, oh no, the other way. Oh, which way do we want it to go? I think I want it this way. So it's going to go, excuse me, on here, and then it's going to flip up, and I think that's actually quite pretty to be on the front. So sweet. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac just because I want to be able to have room to move this from side to side, as I was clearly struggling there, just showing you. So we're going to just get that all glued up. And then I'm going to turn this just for my own ease here. And, well, actually I'll hold it up because I've got time to move it with a Fabri-Tac. That's the beauty of Fabri-Tac. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up so I've got about the same amount on each side, and I'm going to go ahead and give that a press. And then I'll show you where that falls on the margins here. We've got plenty of room there, and then that flips up like that. Okay. Did I not get that edge? Look, didn't get that edge. Goodness gracious. It's risky since that's wet. Now I'm moving it around. Okay. So now the next thing you want to do before you move on is you want to decide where your magnets are going to go. So this has changed this because this normally would come up all the way, but that's okay. So I think what I'll do is I'll put, oh, I know why. Because I made this taller. That's why this isn't long enough. Because I heightened this. This is normally, you know what, 8 1/4 minus 3 1/4 ish. So that's why that's happening. So that is okay. So we would want to put, let's see. We definitely would want a magnet on the back of this one, so right here. No, yes, right here. Which means we'll have to cover that up with a pocket or something, which is fine. And then we could put the other magnet over here. Or I guess it could just go on the back of this. What do you think? I haven't had a lot of experience. I think it probably should just go through these layers because if we put a bunch of stuff here, it's probably not going to grab. So what I did is I just took one of my magnets, a negative, and I just put some white glue on the back of it. And this is where I fiddled a lot, you guys. I'm telling you, when I was almost screaming at this thing. So, okay, no. Because you got to think negative and positive. So let me grab the positive and see where it's going to try to attach. I'm not very good at this. So like that. So I was right. Okay, cool. Let me see if I can get that off without getting all covered in glue here. Yikesies. Okay, we only need a little bit of glue just to get it to set. So I'm going to set that right there. Okay, move it over a little bit. Okay, and now we got to put the other one on here. So I think I will put it on the back of this one. So I just have to figure out where. So let's put that under there, right there. So that tells you exactly, it's only going to magnetize where it's in the right position. So I'm just going to make a little circle. I forgot about that. Struggled on my last one and I forgot that this worked on one of them. And we'll put something over this panel so that it's not going to show. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put a little bit of glue there. And then we'll put some clear tape over it as well, some packaging tape. Whoa, strong sucker. So I've just got my big packaging tape that I've been fighting with. So I was trying to do this. See if I can find the end. So I just took a little bit of this and I just tore it in half and used one piece on each magnet. So like so. And tear it this way. And we're going to put that tape right there. Just give it a good squishy squish. And one right here. Is that right? Am I thinking about this right? Yeah, as long as it magnetizes, it doesn't matter. So boom, there we go. So we'll have to cover that panel and this one, which is fine. I probably would have done that anyway because I don't necessarily want that much of that cream background paper. So let's start with that really quick. Let me go ahead and grab some of this and see what piece we can use here. I think this side here. So I'm gonna bring it over like this. I'm just gonna do it this is the way I do measuring. I don't measure. That's how I do measuring. I'm just gonna make a pencil mark there, and then if I bring this over here, over here. Why am I having like this? Oh my goodness. You know, I always tell you guys I don't film. I try not to film after work, but the channel is just booming and I don't want to lose any momentum, so I am going to keep on keeping on. I am feeling better today. It is Tuesday, February the 20th, I believe. So there's that. And where's my other mark? Sorry, I'm off camera here with my little cutter. Hope you don't mind. And there. Okay. So that piece is going to go there. Oh, that's actually kind of cool to reverse that and have it go counter to it. Woohoo, I love it. Let's go ahead and ink this. So I have asthma, so I often forget that when I start to feel sick, like a cold sick, that usually if I start using my nebulizer a lot, I can beat it. And I forget for some reason. I don't like using it. It's part of my problem. But I mean, I don't know why. It's not like it's a big deal, but yeah. So I've been doing that a few times a day. So, okay, so I'm just going to use my Fabri-Tac again. Just gives me time to move it. And I did fill this bottle last night, so it is very fast flowing. People have said that they've had trouble with their Sugar Bell bottles splitting. I have never had that problem. Isn't that interesting? Never had a problem. Okay, so we decided we wanted it this way, right? Yes. So I'm just going to put that down there like so. Boom, boom. Beautiful. Okay. I'm just going to kind of press that a little bit here. You don't want super thick magnets, so I have these other ones that I tried. I almost just shut the the thing off. But they're like tiny, tiny, tiny ones. But they're oh, right here. Look at those. Look at how thick they are, though. That is just not going to work in junk journaling. So I only used it on one of them, and I think it was one that didn't work out anyway. So okay, so that is that. Nice and secured there and beautiful. So let's go ahead and cover this last piece, and hopefully we have enough right here. We do! Yay! Shall we just do that? So I'm going to turn this way just so I can see the angle without getting my head in the camera. So this is how I measured. I really, even on the ones where I covered the base with papers, I just put the paper up to it and just went that way, because it's easier than trying to measure, because things are imperfect, and even angles of paper and cuts can be imperfect. So I find this easier what to do. I find it easier to do that when I can. So I'm just reaching over here to just trim this off. There. So just an update I shared in a couple of videos that you probably will have already seen. Oh, I keep losing that pencil mark. That my ex-son-in-law was in a car accident on Valentine's Day, and he is still in critical condition and having to be sedated because he's fighting everything. So but he's still with us, so that's a good thing. I think I need to trim a little bit off the top. That's a little bit too close for comfort, so I'm just going to use my scissors and just trim off a smidge off the top of this one. So anyway, he was the cause of the accident. He was driving drunk, and so he's in bad shape. He demolished the left side of his body, has had 3 surgeries already, and my daughter and him have 2 teenage boys, and even though they're divorced and she's remarried, it's a huge and impactful situation for everyone, even us, who've had a really hard time forgiving him for hurting our daughter, but I'm glad that he is okay. Their boys need their dad, but they need him to be well. They need him to be healthy. So I'm praying that he makes the right decisions and gets his life together and gets help for his issues and his drinking. So there we go. Okie dokie. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. Sorry again for the angle, because I know I'm sideways. But I want to leave plenty there so we don't have any binding for that flippy bit. So I'm just going to hold this a bit here, because we are going over that magnet, and that can be kind of tricky. So I'm just going to squeeze it. This is so pretty. This kit is so pretty. Wait till you see the angels. Well, that's drying. Let me show you the ephemera that we're going to use in this. What did I do with it? It's over here. So we've got these beautiful angels. Look at these. I won't use all this, but I printed it, so I just decided to go ahead and cut it all out. But oh, she is beautiful. I don't know if she's going to fit. I might have to trim her down a little bit. And then that one. So beautiful. That's Marisa over there at Sweet Pea Curiosities. And then I did the pockets and I just cut them down. So I'm hoping that, oh, they're still too big. I might have to trim them off a little bit. I kind of expected that. So there's 4 of these corner pockets. And then there's 4 of these as well. So those ones look like they might be okay. Nope, they have to be trimmed down a little bit too. And then there's a bunch of little tags and stuff that we'll be able to put in there. So let's go ahead and get going with the pockets first. And boom. Okay. Oh, the back. So that's the other thing. We don't have anything on the back. which is fine. You don't have to have everything covered. But I was wondering if we should leave some of this for writing space. Like, so if it's hanging off the page like that and it opens, so, sorry, it closes like that. Oh, I didn't put the closures on. Oh, I can't because I'm not covering it with paper. I completely forgot about that. So in my prototype, I put a little bit of seam binding underneath the paper, but I can't do that because I'm not covering it with paper. So that is a problem. We're going to have to figure out another way around that. So I'm also debating on if I want this to go this way. No, because it will not. Well, that part will stay magnetized, but I think that this is a little bit too chunky. Yeah, I feel like that's a little too chunky, so better to have the flip thing down first and then this like that. Okay, so we might have to just tie it off with some seam binding, like, oh, but this is going to be a happy mail, so then the person could do whatever they wanted with it. Yeah, okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll leave these two panels for writing space, and we'll cover this one. So that means I need another piece of paper. So I do have another one. I just didn't like this print because it did some weird thing right here on my printer. So I kind of tossed it for the project. So I think we'll go ahead and put this here and just cover that panel. And then we'll cover the flaps as well. So let me just finish this little bit off and I'll be right back. So doing it this way without having to cover the base, we are saving on the total bulk of this, even though I am adding another piece of paper that's a little heavier. I don't know if this is actually 65-pound paper or if it's my 49-pound. I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and get this glued on, and then we'll start putting some pockets on. Super sweet. I might have to put this in a journal. I might have to make another one because this is fun. I really enjoyed this. So I think I wanted that there. So let's go ahead and glue that on. This would be really pretty if you sewed around the panels too. I think that would be gorgeous. I may have to put this in the Sweet Yvonne journal. I wonder if she'd like that. She'll watch this video and she'll let me know. Yvonne, would you like this in your journal? Or something like it? I'd be happy to make another one. I mean, I have those over there. This one right here would be gorgeous in her journal. This one here would be beautiful in her journal. Maybe I'll do that and decorate that up. That's this one's chapter 1 papers. I think it's called Faded Roses. Love it. Okay, so let's get that on. Quit my jibber jabbering. Get on with it. And again, I don't worry about things being perfectly straight, so I just think it adds to the interest of the whatever you're creating. And it tells the world that a human made it, not a machine. So I love that, and that's great writing space. I'm loving it. So I'm going to just pause for a second. I'm going to cover, oh, I only need to cover this flap because that one is digitized. Now I could have done the digital on both sides. That would have been smart, but I didn't think of it. Go figure. So let's go ahead and use a piece of this yellow bit for that. I know I'm going to be kind of wasting a little bit of this paper, but I am actually going to just ink this edge and then I'm going to glue it on and then cut around it because I'm lazy sometimes. So let's put some glue on the flap. I don't know that this actually matters, but if I don't end up using it in a journal and I end up giving it away as a happy mail, I want to have it be covered for the person. So, and then we're just gonna put that in place right there-ish. Give it a push. This paper is gorgeous. This is the background paper in the folio kit. This is the first time I've used it. I've been wanting to use it, so I thought, what better way than a kind of a more elaborate ephemera project. So, or I feel like this is more elaborate because it's going to have pockets and tags and stuff. So I'm going to try to salvage as much of that paper as possible. So I'm going to not waste any. Clearly cutting through more than one layer. You do have to be careful doing this while it's wet, especially if you use Fabri-Tac, because it's still very, very pliable and it will move, but I think we're good. Okay. Just ink those edges really quick. Easy peasy. Very, very quick way to cover panels. Okay. Woo! This is awesome! Okay, so this is what one is going to see first. So let's look at some pockets. I think this one would be really pretty with one of the angels. So let's go ahead and fit this one on there. So see how it's just a little bit too wide. So I'm just going to take off a sliver off of each side, and I mean a sliver. Like, and I want it to be off both sides so that it doesn't change the center point of the divot. And that was a way bigger divot than I would have normally done, but I shrunk them down, so that's probably why. So let's go ahead and, I still feel like it's a little bit, as if that folded, yeah, I'm gonna trim just a smidge more off. Sorry guys. Okay, somewhere I hit my mouse and the video stopped. I hope that it wasn't very long ago. I think I might have just did it when I moved my scissors, so hopefully it's okay. But I'm just not feeling that. I am just not feeling that at all. Yeah, I don't like those ones, so I'm not going to use those in this project. So let's continue with the angels. So, shall we put this, oh, that one's got a bigger, I bet they're made that way. Doggone it. See how the divot's so deep? It's actually kind of pretty though, because it shows that lace, which is kind of pretty. So this one actually looks like it's okay. Width-wise, I think it's just a smidge off, less than the others. Go. Yeah, I like that one up against the other one, so we're going to try to keep it the same height as we can. So upcoming, probably the first week in March, I will be doing a project using the vintage clothes kit from Bontic Designs. I may not have that exactly right, but Bontic, I know is the primary name. I don't have it in front of me, but he is offering 50% off all kits for anybody that uses my code. So that's going to be cool, but I'm going to I'm not going to make a full journal this time around, but I am going to be making a journal in an envelope with some flip outs. And I actually watched it over on Kathy's Garden, so I will be sure to give her the credit, but I love the idea. And it's a way to use a digital kit to create, you know, a fairly substantial project without making a whole journal. It's kind of like making folio journals and things like that. It's kind of a step between the full full meal deal, and you can kind of get your feet wet and play without committing to a whole journal. So that is lovely. Okay, so now we have the flip down. So what do we want to do with the flip down? That's a little bit tricky because you have to be careful to not have anything that's gonna fall out. So I think right here would be a good place for a belly band, but I don't want to use the same. Maybe this one would be a good one. Hold on, it's out of your view. I would cut it down, obviously, but I think that would be a good belly band. So let me trim that down, probably in half, about. Hopefully I didn't miss a bunch on that when that turned off. I think it turned off right when the magnets got stuck on my my scissors, so I think that was the moment I lost it. So hopefully, otherwise we'll be doing this project again and you will never see this video. So if you're seeing it, I was able to recover. So let's go ahead and put that there. Oh, so pretty. Oh, you know what? I have circles, so this would be really cool. Let's put this circle right here. Oh, I think that one is a little bit too off color. That sounds terrible, but maybe that one. Yeah, let's put that one there. So I'm just gonna put the glue in the middle. Hopefully I'm not getting wider than the belly band. Just gonna put that right there. I think we're good. Just make sure she's straight. Yeah, she's not even hanging over. Good job. Good job. Okay, and then we're going to put glue at the top and the bottom. For those of you who don't know what a belly band is, it's basically just a strip of any width that you desire that you can kind of tuck stuff behind. So we'll be doing that together here in a minute. Actually, no, I want it to be a belly band. So, but I guess that's about middle, so we don't lose all that lace. I don't want to lose all that lace. Such pretty digital. Come on, Cara-Renee. Oh, I'm not even in camera, you guys. You should tell me. Do want to make sure that that's not too close because it will bind when that folds. So we're gonna have to trim off a little bit off the bottom here. I'm just gonna see if I can smidge that. Smidge it. Yep, that's good. Okay. I think we need to re-glue that though, maybe. We'll see. It's just a bit, not even hardly anything to write home about. Okay, so that's that. So we got a belly band, and then this could be another pocket. So shall we try this one? Oh, that's really beautiful there. Or is that all of them? I guess it would be. Oh no, we've got one more here. I like that one. I like that one right there. Except when you're looking at them up against these ones, I think this one looks better. So let's do this one. Why not? So I'm going to trim a little bit off of the sides again. Like, I don't even know, like, such a small sliver, like that much. So small, hardly even enough to mention. Okay, so let's see if it's the same height though. I don't want it to be off. Yep, perfect. So same process. I didn't print any. She had a few words on in the digital, but I did not print them, so I'll probably cut some of those up or print them and put them on here after the fact. So sometimes I further embellish things off camera, just whenever the mood strikes. So I might do that. So there we go. Okay. So boom, this is awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's put some stuff in the pockets. So what do we have? We have beautiful angels is what we have. Oh my gosh, look at these. I will punch the holes. I'm not sure what I'll do with them though, because I can't really put anything in it because I don't want to bulk it up. But I might thread some seam. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do, but this one's gorgeous. It's a little bit wide because of our glue, so I'm gonna just trim a little bit off of each side. But you guys are gonna love the kit from Anton. It is so beautiful. I mean, I wouldn't say that all the clothes are vintage, but they're made to look vintage, and they're super cute. Really fell in love with them. So there we go. So there is a journal card, like there. I'm concerned about leaving that in there, so I'm going to put it there because I don't want it to get stuck. But I'm thinking I might do something else. Oh, that one could go in there too and have two angels in that pocket, because we're taller than we were in the prototype. So we could actually come in behind and put more, a taller piece of ephemera. So this one also needs to be trimmed down. We're gonna we might lose a little bit of the wing, but that's okay. She'll forgive me, I'm sure. Angels are kind. I'll re-ink those too because they're now a little messed up. So is that one taller? That one is also taller, so that would be a good one for behind until I figure out. I actually feel like these need to go somewhere else. Maybe put one of these in the front, and maybe we'll put something tall in the back. I'm not sure. Jury's still out. I don't have another one of those though for some reason. But you guys will be able to see what I end up with when we're done. But this is the stuff that's going to go in the pockets. And then down here in the belly band, we would just be able to slide something in here like that. So beautiful. Probably not that, because I wouldn't want her necessarily be covered all up. But there are other choices. Oh, that's kind of pretty though. You can see her wings peeking out. So I'm going to finish this off camera in terms of the decorating, and you'll be able to see that in the photos at the end. So the only bummer thing is that I did not account for a closure, and I really wanted to do that. But again, because I just used a digital, there was no place for me to, I wouldn't have been able to tuck anything behind to have a closure. So unless a person wanted to make this happy mail and put an eyelet on here and then just wrap some seam binding around it, because it could be a flip out on a journal page, like she called it, a Flippy Floppy Foldout, but it could also be just a little independent piece of ephemera. So I'm going to have to think about that. Not sure what I want to do, because I don't see a way to close it if somebody wanted to put this on a journal page. So I think probably what I'm going to do is put an eyelet and then just wrap this around and have it be, let's see what this would look like if we did that. Nope. We already talked about that, didn't we? So I will figure it out. So there's a couple of options. You could actually not even account for this, make your pockets, your panels wider. You'd have a wider piece in the finished product, and it could just go into a pocket. It's not terrible. Like, it's thinner than the other one. So even with all that in there, I've been known to put things that fat in my journals before, so I account for it in the size of my spines. So I think probably what I'll do is put an eyelet on there and wrap some seam binding around it. But thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.